friend James to play with me on this video. James and I went to school together, grad school, and we studied with the same cello teacher, so it's always great when we get to play together again. James also plays the viola da gamba, so he knows a lot about the French style, because French music, although there is some of it for cello, typically when they're writing solo music for bass instruments, they write it for the gamba family. So I love French music, and I was introduced to these duos by a somewhat French composer, and this particular Ciaconna, don't be thrown off by the Italian name, is actually quite French in style, so I thought it would be the perfect thing to play with James. These pieces are actually bassoon duos, so they present some challenges on the cello, but I think we made it work, and James is going to tell us a little bit about the French style.
Well, first, thanks to Emily for inviting me to play. This piece is really interesting, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to do it. So, a couple of the stylistic things that you can notice here are that we have notes in égal, and then also ornamentations. A note in égal is where you take a string of notes that all are the same note value on the page and alter them. So you have something that sounds da-dum, ba-dee-dum, it comes out as da-dee-dee-dee-dum, ba-dum. It's a little bit like swinging in jazz, which is, and they might be related or maybe not. So French ornamentation has a lot of those small little things that are added on, less melodic fills like in Italian music. And some composers wrote in a lot, Braun didn't, but we added a few and it's kept it stylistic. So.
Right, French ornaments typically we hear trills, like you said, surrounded on one note, as opposed to Italians, which sort of like to fill up entire lines with lots of notes and lots of trills.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so it's a little bit more symbolic ornamentation, if you want.
And I think it's intimidating for people the first time you see French music, especially written from a manuscript or a facsimile. You see all these different signs and symbols for trills, which gamba players and harpsichord players are much more familiar with because they have those a lot in their solo music. But there's a lot of detail in just learning how to trill and what kind of trill starts on which note or has a long appoggiatura and so on.
Right, and different composers notate it differently too, so that's...
So there's no consistency across the board, you get to just be confused and figure it out.
One of the joys of playing early music.
Yep. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy these videos, you can subscribe to my channel and also consider becoming my patron on Patreon. By additional funding, I'm able to bring in more guests like James for future videos.